Hey there. Welcome back to a very familiar location with some unfamiliar fellows hanging around. Yes, the inhabitants of yahar'gul are perhaps a little bit upset at my meddling, or maybe they're not upset at my meddling, as it were, considering what we did to Rom. And now we get to start off the episode with everybody's favorite activity, running away in terror from a gank squad. Also running away in terror from meat werewolves, because now there are meat werewolves running around. What a phrase, what a thing to say. Like, I never would have suspected that Bloodborne would be the home to meat werewolves. I mean, I guess I could have assumed, but, you know, now we're seeing them for real, and I gotta say, I don't like looking at them. So these three hunters here, wearing the yahar'gul black set, I assume are part of the kidnapping crew that's been ferrying coffins and kidnapped people around the city to use in rituals and stuff, and they're a little bit upset that I am here, I am out of prison, and I am ready to beat them up. However, the gank squad, as I am so kindly referring to them, you know, maybe the name gives you a little bit of an indicator as to the fairness of this fight. Okay, goodbye. Just gonna kind of fall through the world there. The power of insight, and so on. I don't like fighting the gank squad. They are the most annoying group of hunters in the whole game. And that's comparing them with the cathedral hunter, who, as you saw in the last episode, is a real piece of shit. These guys, instead of being the most difficult, are just annoying. Because they all have attacks and weapons that complement one another, and so you end up with all three of these guys bum rushing you at the same time, attacking through each other over and over again in a constant barrage of pain. Pain is what it is. It is easiest to drag them away from each other and take them on one at a time. However, they are specifically set so that when one aggroes on you, they all aggro on you. So, if you decide to drag one of them away from the other two, you'd better hope that you end up pretty far away, or else they are going to come to his rescue very fast. So yes, welcome to one of the most annoying fights in the game. There is a guy that has the flame sprayer and the threaded cane, a gentleman carrying around the rifle spear and a cannon. He has a very weird character build. There's a guy carrying around the rifle spear and a cannon, and then a dude without a shirt going around with the beast claw. The beast claws are a pretty cool weapon, actually. I don't think I showed them off because they are a Chalice Dungeon only weapon, so I never picked them up. They are pretty neat, though. And don't worry, he's coming for me, so we'll get to see him use them quite extensively. So yeah, these guys are the worst. I cannot stand these guys. It's not even worth fighting them. That is, I think, my biggest criticism of the hunter fights in this game, is that it's not even worth fighting them most of the time. They just suck so bad. They do so much damage and have so much health, and they screech at you, and they do tons of damage and very few hits, and use up all your resources, and they just suck. And I tried really hard. But if you decide to fight the hunters, don't get caught in a corner like I did. Because boy will they capitalize on their advantage. So fuck these guys. We're not even gonna bother. Yeah! We're not even gonna bother. It's back onto the streets of yahar'gul we go, to complete safety, where nothing will be different. Streets are gonna be just as empty as the first time, I promise. Nothing new, nothing scary, nothing grody. Just us and the friendly yahar'gul we once knew. Including this new shortcut that leads back up to the first lantern in this area. But we're not going back. We're gonna jump off. And we're gonna take a nice bright-ass red moonlit stroll. That amygdala up there on that building looks grosser than the rest. He's got his eyeballs popping out. And we've got dogs. We've got, like, blood dogs. We've got blood dogs. We've got ritual bats. We've got Cthulhu's running around. And now we've got meat werewolves. Meat werewolves. I feel like Bloodborne is trying to tell me something here about the danger of performing arcane rituals. Man, these meat werewolves, they are just so unpleasant to look at. They really are just nasty. Like the butt leg tail is probably the worst part. Like the foot that forms the tail that the old werewolves had is like are they modeled after the original werewolves, or are they like a completely unique creature? Like, how were they created? I don't know. Let's inspect this bath, because what could possibly go wrong at this point, right? What could go wrong? Well, I don't like that ominous chanting at all. That is not something that I want to listen to, but I guess that's just the ambiance that they have decided to play in yahar'gul to soothe the people who have been kidnapped and put in prison, to lull their woes that they are going to die a horrible death in some kind of arcane experiment. Yahar'gul is nasty. It's a very nasty area, full of very, very nasty things. Like perhaps these creatures. Oh no! Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it's so horrible. And it shoots like exploding bloody skulls at you that could pierce your skin and do a ton of damage, and it's just disgusting. So these things, I think they're called like wandering caskets or something like that. They are the result of the yahar'gul people carrying around all these caskets on carriages throughout the city. As it turns out, the caskets themselves may have been a little bit overstuffed, resulting in these terrible creatures that are horrible and I hate looking at. They're just awful. Oh, and they drop really good blood gems, but who gives a shit about the blood gems at this point? I know I don't. Oh, it's just terrible. If you lead them into one of those burning bodies there in the background, they will set on fire and lose a lot of health, but then they get like way, way more aggressive. So that's a strategy for fighting them if you feel like doing that. So these doors that we've just passed through were closed the first time we entered yahar'gul. We are now back in the area of yahar'gul that we were in the first time we visited. The yahar'gul black set was over there on that carriage on the left. So we are slowly making our way back up the street, trying to explore and, you know, for funsies, see how things have changed here since the last time we visited its streets. And as it turns out, things have gotten a little bit worse. Things have gotten a little worse. Minutely. You see, since we were last here, somebody has been fucking around with rituals of some kind that seem to have killed all of the inhabitants of yahar'gul. So I guess it's a good thing that we rescued Adela the Nun, even though she's a little bit crazy now. Oh, okay, it's fine. It's being pursued by 1,000 enemies. That's fine. It's how things normally go for me in this game. Let's maybe just kind of get a move on, why don't we? So, yeah. yahar'gul seems to be in a little bit dire straits. If those petrified stone bodies climbing the walls and screaming wasn't enough of an indicator for you. Something horrible went on here while we were gone, and who knows? maybe if we reach the end of the street after all this time, we will perhaps get an answer. Will it be a good answer? No. But it'll be an answer, whether we like it or not. Ah, the miracle of birth. And it's attacking us. The miracle of birth is trying to kill us. So this is the one reborn. It's a meat man. It's several meat men, actually. It's like 2 giant meat men combined with a bunch of other meat to make a meat man. Like, they combine into one whole meat creature, which is lovely. The one reborn was conjured by these witch ladies who will continue to cast healing and buffs on it as long as they are alive. So let's go take care of them, shall we, before that gets out of hand, because you can kill the one reborn without taking care of the bell ringers, but it's a bad idea. I don't know why you would. I mean, it's free to run up here and start smacking them. And in fact, it's a little bit easier to fight the one reborn up here, because all it can do is like big, wide, sweeping attacks. So hey, if you have any ranged options, pull out your monocular and start shooting at it, I guess. No, we'll be going with another tactic that I very much enjoy. Oh god. That I very much enjoy employing, which is to burn this fucking horrible creature to the ground with beast blood pellets. Attacking the one reborn in the legs will stumble it, which is a good thing, because we can run over and beat the crap out of it. Thankfully, it takes more damage when you hit it in the head. So with maximum beasthood and a buffed to nitrous, let us just say that the one reborn will not be bothering us for very much longer. Truly, it is an unspeakably terrible thing that exists, and I'm really glad that I get to put it out of everyone's misery before it bothers anyone else. I know I've said it before, but man, what a nightmare. So that's how you fight bosses in this game if you want to speedrun it, by the way. You just run straight in and, you know, try to heal your way through their attacks while you wail on them with beast blood pellets. But, I think my poor psyche has had just about enough of yahar'gul for the time being. So let's head back to the dream and, maybe enjoy some R&R. Good gravy. Oh, I'm so sick of nightmares. I'm so sick of beasts and blood. And hey, the music changed. Huh. Strange. I guess the night's almost over then. If the music changed, because it certainly did get a lot thematic. Or a lot more thematic, rather. We are customizing my runes a little bit, because we've got a little bit more running around to do before we are ready to tackle our next obstacle on our journey to end this damn nightmare for good. Sky's looking a little more red too. I feel like this doesn't bode well for the hunter's dream. I feel like if the amygdalas are watching over yahar'gul, you gotta consider what is watching over the hunter's dream. I'm almost out of blood vials. Completely. So that's kind of a problem. I think I'm going to be spending my souls on more in the future.
What is it you desire? Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes.
Plain doll, do you have the ability to repair frayed nerves? Because at this point, I'm getting a little nervous that things might get a bit more difficult in the near future.
Good hunter, your presence somehow soothes. I sense the ancient echoes. They course your veins.
I see.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Amen to that. Let's hope the waking world is nearby, because I'm getting a little bit fed up with Cthulhu's. Hello. I'm back. Ariana, you're looking even worse. Oh. What? Wait. Is that... Oh no! I feel like, technically speaking, this is my fault. Oh. Jeez. What? So this guy was here the whole time, huh? Okay. Well, if we had 40 insight, we would have been able to see that gentleman from the very beginning. Just hanging out there. But I suppose in her insanity, the old woman didn't really care about that anymore. So, whoops. That's, I'll say mea culpa on that. Whoops. But at least our friend Alfred is probably okay. Oh no. Okay. Maybe our friend Alfred's not okay. Well, congrats, Alfred. You did it. You have turned Logarius into a true martyr. Congratulations. I just don't know what to do with myself now, man. I guess I'll see you all next time, when we figure out where the hell we're going from here. It's finally time to talk about one of the most interesting aspects of Bloodborne. It's been in our periphery all along, and indeed has technically been our goal from the very start of the game, but we've gotten no information on it. Nothing to tell us what we seek or why, how we'll even find it, or how we'll even take it once we figure out where to get it. I'm speaking, of course, of this mysterious concept called pale blood. Pale blood has been in the back of our minds since the very beginning. The very first lines of dialogue from the Blood Minister in the intro reference it as if we were the ones that asked him about it. As I mentioned way back when, our character's backstory is that they came to Yharnam seeking a cure for an illness. Presumably they heard about this idea of pale blood from somewhere and confused it with Yharnam's magical, mysterious healing blood. And after Jill awoke, our first and only goal was to seek pale blood to transcend the hunt, a note which, in the Japanese version, claims to have been written by us. Well, it's about 10 hours of gameplay later, and we still have no idea what that means. Gilbert didn't know what it meant either. And in fact, nobody really knows what it means, inside or outside of the game. Pale blood is a concept shrouded in mystery, with hints that pull you in every direction except for the one that leads you to an answer. We can cobble together as many theories as we like, but the fact of the matter is, the game refers to so many different things as pale blood that it's really hard to nail down what exactly it's all referring to. But you know me by now. I won't give up that easily. Let's start from the beginning. We came to Yharnam looking for pale blood, mistakenly believing it to be the healing blood. We quickly found out that we were wrong and they are two different things from Gilbert, but that it was still our goal to seek it for reasons unknown. From Gehrman, we learned that we also had to go out and end the hunt, or else the night would go on forever. These two goals are not unrelated. We've also found notes in various places around the game world talking about the red moon blurring the line between man and beast, and now, as of yahar'gul, we've found a note claiming that this new, brilliant purple sky is a pale blood sky. The concept of pale blood is a jigsaw puzzle, and over the course of the game we are slowly being given piece by piece. From here we can start to put the puzzle together. This red moon comes out under a pale blood sky, implying that the moon itself is what pale blood refers to, and that it's somehow the cause of the beast plague. Our goal is to figure out what's causing this to happen, and put an end to it. When you put it that way, it sounds a lot more simple. Of course, instead of figuring all this out for ourselves, we could have just cheated and asked Hidetaka Miyazaki. According to him, pale blood does have two definitive interpretations, both of which can be valid. It very well can refer to the moon itself, or more specifically the reason for the hunt, which we still haven't uncovered at this point. Or it could refer to the ritual that's causing all of this to happen in the first place, with our goal of seeking pale blood referring to stopping it. So there you go. That's the most confusing concept in Bloodborne explained as thoroughly as I can put it, with backup from the big man himself. However, you're going to want to keep all of this in mind, because you might have noticed that we're still missing one piece of the aforementioned jigsaw puzzle, that being, what exactly is the ritual? Maybe in the coming episodes, we'll finally find out. I gotta say, yahar'gul is a tough subject to write about. There's just not much to go on. I hope you're appreciating all of these bonus features, because the game is giving me less and less to work with as it goes on when it comes to deciphering the story. Let's start back at the beginning one more time, and see if we can't unravel some of these threads, because they're starting to get a little bit knotted up. It all comes back to Byrgenwerth, as usual. The School of Mensis is the final offshoot of the Schism, formed of a number of its students and some of the tomb prospectors who went to the dungeons in the faraway ruins of Ailing Loran. What these people saw there, the same beast plague that threatened the destruction of Old Yharnam, inspired them to take a different approach to Byrgenwerth's research on the Great Ones. Instead of purely contacting the Great Ones, they sought to create a medium for contact, or even a new Great One themselves, by experimenting on kidnapped subjects from all over Yharnam. We've seen a little bit of everything stuck here in yahar'gul thanks to the kidnappers. Inhabitants of central Yarnum, Hemwick, Cathedral Ward, hunters, dark beasts, you name it. Their aggressive stance has led to yahar'gul falling very quickly to shambles, and the amygdalas closing in and observing the city are surely not helping things stay sane and in order. Some time ago, there was a ritual performed in yahar'gul that seems to have been a last-ditch effort to ascend members of the Mensis school to godhood. We've been reading notes about this Mensis ritual and the harrowing cry of the nightmare newborn for the whole game now, and it seems that to end the hunt, we have to put an end to it. In some ways, we're already too late, as if you couldn't already tell. Even if the Odin Chapel chap's uneasy speech wasn't enough to tip you off, it's pretty clear that Yarnum is unrecoverable. Even still, we have to find the source of the beast plague and eliminate it if we ever want to be released from our contract, and it's starting to look like a certain big giant orb in the sky is the source of all this, and the Mensis ritual has something to do with it. But we'll jump that hurdle when we come to it. In the meantime, with yahar'gul having become a madhouse of late, especially with the rise of the insanity-inspiring blood moon on the horizon, of course the inmates have begun to run the asylum. The Mensis scholars themselves are nowhere to be seen, having left for parts currently unknown, leaving the more arcane and perhaps even less sane citizens to do whatever the hell they want. With all these kidnapped Yarnumites sitting around wasting away, it's no wonder the experiments have gotten so out of hand. And so we come to the end of the road, literally, with the One Reborn. The One Reborn is the result of a mass sacrifice by someone or something, possibly these arcane bell-ringing witches, in a final bid to create a great one, or maybe to protect the Mensis scholars from their ritual being interrupted. The petrified, screaming bodies trying to climb the very walls to escape sure don't paint a pretty picture, do they? It seems to have happened in an instant, vaporizing anybody who happened to be in range of their satanic summoning. Well, the ritual was a success, but not at all in the way they planned, I'm sure. The One Reborn is not a great one. It's an amalgamation of every person sacrificed as part of the ceremony. It is clearly intended to show what happens when a similar process that was used to create Rom goes very, very awry. You end up with a disgusting pile of meat that can summon other disgusting piles of meat from beyond the stars to rain down death and disease without a care in the world, kept on constant life support by arcane magic. It's not a pretty sight, is it? So there you go. That's the story of the mysterious yahar'gul finally wrapped up in a nice dripping meat bow. In the coming episodes, we'll plumb the depths of what it really means to experience a living nightmare. But for now, the fringes of insanity that the Mensis scholars have left behind in Yarnum is, close enough, I think.